Hey girls and guys and girls. Okay, so this is the second video for today, which is the 6th of the 11th 22. Okay, so this is based off of a dream that I had a few nights ago. We're going to go into my notes as usual so that I can speak the dream out to you guys and then get the revelation from the dream. But as you can see from the screen, this is called the setup. Okay, so let's go. Afro Circus. That's what it feels like sometimes. Plus I have my afro out as well, so yeah, don't worry about that. Okay. Right. Is it this one? Is it this one? Was it that one? No, that was last night's one. Sorry guys, excuse me there for a second. That was the first one. I'm still looking for revelation through that. I'm sure, is it this one? Yeah, it's this one. Okay, so 4th of November, a few nights ago, okay, a few mornings ago even, because it's like in the morning I just wake up and be like, okay, gotta write it down really quickly before I lose it all, because half the time, like, it could be a long dream and I'm just not remembering everything all at once. So forgive me, and I ask God, like, bring it back, like anything that needs to be remembered. But let's get into it. So this is from the 4th of November 22. So I was explaining that God is not a mean God to someone who was upset that some things never went their way and people didn't like them. Then they tried to publish in a paper the part where I said God isn't mean, as God is mean, to try and give him a bad name and make me look like I said that out of context. So then it switched and I saw my nan with my underwear trying to get a period mark out at a marketplace. Okay, and then after that I saw the number 7. I was looking up for the last dream but ended up putting it here. So yeah, that was that part. So the setup, okay, so this part here where I was just explaining to somebody that God is not mean. Okay, a majority of the time, a lot of conversation that I do tend to have with people is they don't have this understanding that things happen in life, and they think that if there's a God, then how come these bad things happen? How come he doesn't stop these things from happening? You know, you've probably heard it all before as well, right? And I just know that he doesn't do bad for us. Okay, bad things happen to us, right? And he takes what the enemy has meant for our bad and turns it for our good. Okay, Bible verse, right? I'm not gonna go look up that Bible verse because I've said it a few times on here. Okay, but he does put things down in order to lift things up. Okay, with the best way of me putting it that way. So when bad things do happen, it's a setup for your good. Okay, so he's had me in Deuteronomy and now I'm on 19. Okay, and the beginning of 19 is cities of refuge. Okay, so it says, when the Lord your God has destroyed the nations whose land he is giving you, and when you have driven them out and settled in their towns and houses, then set aside for yourselves 3 cities in the land the Lord your God is giving you to possess. Okay? There are things that need to take place, right? There is dethroning. There are people and things that need to be moved out of the way in order for him to set things up for your good. So sometimes when you're not feeling great or people don't like you or you're being mistreated, it's because there is a bigger purpose behind what is happening. Okay, there is a rise and there is a fall. Okay, he had me have that song that I sang I think it was last week, okay, from Craig David and Sting, The Rise and Fall. Okay, there is that rise and then there is that fall. There are people who are probably ahead of you, above you, whatever it may be, okay, and looking down on you, possibly saying the most about you and saying that your life doesn't amount to anything, and all of those horrible things that people tend to say about people, especially when you feel like people don't like you and you feel like people are talking about you. People will have certain things to say. Yes, those things are being said, But there is things that are happening in the background that God is dealing with. For the enemy thought that you was going to stay in one place and it would never amount to anything for you and nothing was ever going to happen. But God is making sure that they are setting things up for you to possess the land that God has said is yours. Okay? Yes, there may be people who come up against you and don't like you or feel some kind of way about it, but that's not God. Okay? That is not of God. God is a good God. God is a just God, okay? And what he says is yours. So I said God isn't mean, okay? He's not a mean God. He's a just God. Because when we do things wrong, just like when you're a parent and you have a child and your child does something wrong, there is a consequence, okay? Like you would take away something from them, or you'll say, right, you're not getting this at a certain point until you behave yourself, or whatever it may be, okay? It's the same with our Heavenly Father, okay? If we can't pass the tests and keep on going into the cycles that the devil keeps on placing us in and won't come out of it, then what he has for us, he cannot give to us because we are not ready for it. Because we will get there and ruin it, right? Okay, so that was the first part that he gave me as the revelation. So there is that taking down and lifting up. So whenever you do feel like this, don't say that God is mean, because it's not God who is being mean, okay? It's the enemy who is plotting things against you. But God will allow for those things to happen, because let's just put it as it's character building then, okay? In the layman's terms of what we would say in this day and age, it's character building. He's building you up, right? So that you can get to a place where these things no longer affect you, where you don't sit there and dwell on those things anymore. Okay, it didn't work out this time around. All right, what can I do to elevate myself, to make it better, to do the work that's needed to be done, right? Putting your best foot forward at all times instead of wallowing in self-pity, right? So then there was the point about when they tried to put in the paper where I said God isn't mean, and then they tried to change it into God is mean, okay? Someone is trying to twist your words, right? You could be having conversations and people are trying to twist your words, trying to say that you have said this when you didn't say that, okay? And oftentimes these things can happen. Sometimes it's the case of the whole Chinese whisper thing, and it gets from one person to the next person, and then it gets all twisted up. But then there is just the general case of somebody who just wants to tear you down, okay, in the best possible way of me saying it, okay? There are those who intentionally come up against you, right, and have things to turn around and say, and will make it seem like that is what you have said. But if you do not know who you are, you will go out and feel like you have to do something about it. God says you don't have to do anything. He's making sure that he's taking care of that. The battle's already won, okay? Plus, he is saying in this dream, there is somebody who is trying to rectify the things that have been said about you, okay? And why I say that is, right, is because the switch straight after that, from them putting the wrong wording into the newspaper, because when you think of the newspaper, you're thinking gossip, worldwide news, you know, like all of that, right? So whatever's being said has been gossiped about, spoken about, and it's big out there, okay? Like your name is big out there with whatever it is that they've turned around and said, and what they've said isn't good, okay? Just like how they treated Jesus, basically, okay? He was out there doing his works and everything, and then you had the Pharisees coming up against him. You had everybody trying to plot. You had Judas plot against him for his death, all that, okay? Right? There are people who have what you are doing out there as a big chat, okay? Big talk, big news, read all about it, okay? But there is somebody, okay, whose name means noble woman, okay? Whose name means noble woman, right? So, when it switched, I saw my nan with my underwear trying to get a period mark out at a marketplace, and she used bleach, okay? Because when she did this, it went instantly white, and she said to me, she knows what to do because it happened to her before, okay? So my mom told me that back in the days, a lot of people would call my nan names, right? She used to swear like a sailor too. She was what Jamaica would probably call a bad gal, okay? She didn't stand for no rubbish, and you know, she stood her ground, right? And obviously she met my granddad. I fell in love, best love story ever. And you know, they had their moments, as they did, but my granddad was a very handsome man, and that caused a lot of jealousy too, right? So that was one thing. And they tried to call her a witch, right? And I know for a full fact that God showed me already that a lot of people don't believe that what's happening in my life is because of God. They believe that it's some evil, right? That it's demonic or whatever it is. And that's probably because I ended up almost going down the wrong route, okay? So they believe that it's something to do with that. So I know there's been talks about that kind of thing happening, right? And the reason why I say that is because she turned and she said, the same thing happened to me. I know that this will do it because the same thing happened to me, okay? That was paraphrased. But basically, because she had experienced that throughout her life too, she knows exactly what I am going through and what is being said about me. When you think of laundry, especially your knickers, right? That's your private business, okay? Remember I told you laundry, when you have the saying that's out there, your dirty laundry, just airing out your dirty laundry, right? My nan took it to the marketplace. Imagine the marketplace, busy, loud, purchasing, bargaining, talking about all kinds of things, chatter, gossip, the whole shebang, right, in the marketplace. And then you've got this lady who's a noble woman who sees that these things are happening, takes your underwear, right? Imagine your period, you know. Some people will see that as shameful, right? I don't like periods, okay? Me personally, as a woman, I know we have them, but it's just something that just rubs me up the wrong way, okay? Like, I don't like ant flow. I don't like ant flow, okay? Like, when she comes, I'm upset. So, right? So, knowing that, and then she's taken those, I'm looking like to say, clutching my pearls, like, what are you doing with my underwear, right? So, that's my business. What's happening, what's been put out there, right, is being rectified by this noble woman who's trying to correct the things that are being said about me and about you, okay, whoever this message is for, because it spoke to me and I know it will speak to somebody else, okay? There is a lot that has been said. There is a lot that has been published about you, okay? Whether direct or indirect, right? But it's big news, okay? It's like big news. Read all about it, right? This person, this and this, this and this. But there is somebody who is on your side, somebody who has experienced what you have experienced, and they are trying to clear your name, okay? They're trying to clear these things off of your name because they know what it feels like. And trying to explain it to people sometimes on your own is very difficult, okay? Especially when you're surrounded by the chatter and the noise of those who have so much to say when it comes to your business, okay? But in relation to all that initially happens, nobody really fully knows the ins and outs of what you've experienced, but they will just take what they feel like they know and run with it, okay? This person ran with what I said and totally flipped it, okay, into what I didn't say. That's how much people can take things and turn them out of, and use them out of context, okay? But it's okay. He says it's okay, all right? Even if you've only got this one person who is trying to rectify the situation, who is on your side, who understands exactly what you are going through, just know that you have God and you do have people who are there with you, okay? He says that there are more for you than there are against you, okay? So, yeah, I'm thinking, does he want me to go into any other Bible verse right now that I can think of? It just keeps on saying to me, when you go and looking through the Bible, right, there are many people, when you put their lives into context, that have been spoken about, okay? Sarah was barren, you know, she got chatted about, okay? Like how she's not got no children, she's married, this, that, and that. There was plenty of women who were in there who were barren, okay? When you're thinking of barren, it doesn't necessarily mean just to have a child. You're thinking about barren in your life, like your life doesn't look like the most fruitful at the moment. You've been going through a barren season. That season could be from the beginning of your life, okay? You could have had a barren season from the beginning of your life because you didn't know him, because you've been trying to do things on your own, because, you know, you haven't been paying attention to the things that you were supposed to do, whatever the situation may be, right? You've had a barren time in your life, and because people are seeing that, it's like it's talk, okay, all the time, like nobody likes me, they've got this to say about me, you know, God's been mean to me. God's not been mean to you. He's been speaking this whole entire time, but you need to go through certain things in order for you to elevate spiritually, mentally, and physically, okay? It's not just all in one place. There's a whole spectrum of learning and elevation that needs to happen within you in order for you to get to a place where he can start to use you properly, okay? So that you can see what needs to be done in your life, because sometimes we're blinded by the things that we think we need to be doing, or the things that we think we need to be learning, etc. And it's not what we're supposed to be doing, okay? They're distractions, and sometimes those distractions can come in the form of family members, friends, you know, you name it, right? Work, whatever it may be, overworking yourself and not doing the things that you're supposed to be doing. All those things can happen, but then when you're looking, you're not seeing any fruits for your labor. And that's when it becomes the issue, and that's when people start to talk, okay? And in this society that we live, once you get to a certain age, they think that you're supposed to have this already, you're supposed to have that already. They're not God, okay? They don't tell you what you're supposed to have when you're supposed to have it. Not because they have it right now does it mean that you're supposed to have it right now. That's why we don't begrudge people for what they have, or envy what they have, or be jealous of what people have, okay? Because when it's your time and it's your turn, nobody can take that away from you. It's yours, okay? In Deuteronomy 19, he says that he has destroyed the nations, okay? Whose land he is giving to you. They've done the work, okay? There are people who are doing the work for you right now, setting up what is yours. And then they will leave, and then it will be given to you. However that may be, okay? That work is being done. You didn't have to lift a finger. You didn't have to do a thing. You didn't have to breathe on anything, okay? You didn't have to put your hands to paper. None of that. You didn't have to do any of the hard work. And it's yours. They did it all for you. They're thinking, oh, they're building for whatever it is for themselves. And in actuality, they're building it for you. Right? Your inheritance, what he has for you. So don't worry what they've got out there speaking about you, okay? Don't worry about what people have to say. Don't worry about people being mean or not liking you. You are not for everyone. I am not for everyone. Thank you, Jesus. Because if you try to please everyone, you're the one who's going to end up getting hurt, okay? Work on pleasing God. That's who you have to work on pleasing. Like, am I in the right place I'm supposed to be right now? What is it that I'm supposed to be doing for your kingdom, Lord? Show me. Every day, show me, Lord. What is it that you need for me to do, Lord? No matter what they're speaking about out there, let them have it, okay? Let them have fun with that. Don't even look into it. Don't give it any energy, no time, no nothing, okay? In due time, they will see who your Heavenly Father is. And that's why he says he will get the glory from out of your life, right? But there are people who are out here who are trying to rectify what people are turning around and saying, because they know who you are. They've experienced it themselves, okay? They've felt those hard times. They know. But with that, guys, I'm going to leave that here. I think I've done all the Bible verses I can possibly think of to give right now, okay? But there's plenty of people who were spoken about. You just put their lives into the context of today's world and how people sit around speaking about other people's lives, and you'll get a great understanding about how it must have felt, right? When people are just going about their daily lives, and because it doesn't add up to the standards of what people think it is, what the people will turn around and say about them, okay? But you have the choice to not pay attention to that and to keep it pushing, okay? We keep things pushing around here. Forward movements, all times. Head to the skies. Up in the air. Put your nose up in the air if you have to. Act like you're bougie, okay? Bougie. I can never pronounce that word properly, right? Bougie, up in here, okay? Like you're in your boudoir, or however they say these words, act stush, as I like to call it, and just keep it pushing, okay? You don't have to worry about what they're saying. You don't have to have all these emotions stuck up in you. Why does nobody like me? Because they're not supposed to. They're not supposed to see who you are, because they do not value you enough, okay? And soon enough, you will be where you're supposed to be. And it's not to be boasting on people or acting some next kind of way with anybody. It's just to know that right now, whatever you may be going through, whatever pain you may be experiencing, these are lessons, okay? I told you before, we do not take L's. The only L's we take are lessons, okay? Not losses. We take lessons and we learn from them, and we keep it pushing. And we keep it in prayer as well. Keep your head and your hands together in prayer, okay? Get it together. Anywho, that's this one done, dusted, finito. So, sorry guys, goofy time. So, ciao Bella. Have a great day, okay? Bye.